What's happening, everybody? I'm back. It's me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, and I'm here with my review for Season 1, Episode 11 of Stargirl on the DC Universe and CW. And if you haven't seen this episode yet, come on back because there will be spoilers. I know things look different. I am actually not at the crib. I'm actually at the crib. So I'm not at my apartment in Los Angeles. I'm at home in Chicago visiting. And so I wanted to make sure that even though I was not back in LA where everything is a normal backdrop and whatnot, I still was giving you all the reviews for this dope ass show. I like the fact we have to come down and mellow out after such a high note, per se, seeing Henry get murdered by his father, to see everything that's coming to fruition, to now, see the after effects with the JSA, how it weighs heavy on them. How now you got Barbara like, so what are we gonna do? She trying to be all gung-ho, like, yo, he killed his son. And Pat basically like, if you don't get the fuck up out of here, you and Courtney, if y'all don't go be safe. To have all that, to now have the after effects, how you see in the initial, you see Beth and Rick trying to figure out more things to do. Rick still trying to crack the code. And you hear that Yolanda is at church mourning Henry because deep down inside, we still found out she still cared. She may not have loved him the same, but she still cared. Even to the extent to where we got towards the end, where almost at the end, where we see Henry's father coming to speak at the school, talk about the love of his son. And everybody's looking like, this motherfucker just killed his kid. And then the dope thing that happens there is having Brainwave know Courtney is in the crowd and knowing she's Stargirl, having his memory back thanks to the Dragon King, and like, basically, I'm going to kill you. And at least he doesn't know who the other members of the JSA are. And think about it, Courtney's dealing with that, the return of her real father, which I know I saw people in the comments from previous reviews like, does Jay not know the Starman's not her real daddy? I know. Her dad is Sam Curtis, a member of the Royal Flush Gang. I know who her father is. But I also said in the comments, in the previous review, I think I said it either in the comments or the review itself, it's about seeing where the show goes. Yeah, sometimes we like to keep fully to the story and keep things going. And granted, Courtney's story of her not being Starman's daughter helps build the story. And granted, the dude they got to play Sam Curtis looks a hell of a lot like Joel McHale. So, like, in those pictures, you can see the same. I can get why Courtney would say that. But to see her being hesitant and in denial, and him having the lockets and the proof that he is her real father, and it crushes her because now she feels like everything she was doing and even getting Henry killed was for nothing, and Joey. All of that was for nothing because, like, yo, she's not really Starman's daughter, which means the staff was only letting her use it because of her belief. And that's half true. It wasn't her belief in her being Starman's daughter. It was her belief in herself. And you notice how when she tried to pick it back up, she couldn't get it to activate until she believed in herself. And which was funny that she had to use the belief and the power of her parents, because Pat is more of her dad than her real dad, and her mom, who now knows who she is and believes in what she does. Because at one point, Barbara says, I want to take you out of here and keep you safe, but I know things are about to happen and you have to protect the city, but you may die on the other hand. And that is that parental conversation we've had in many shows, and it's a common trope that's used, but it works. You know what I'm saying? To see Courtney go through that, to see the Shining Knight, to see he has basically lost his memory as to who he is and find out he's actually from the past. He's not a recent, all the heroes are from the past, but he's from the past. And he has Excalibur. Rick doesn't believe it until he starts telling the stories, and they're trying to figure out how to get him back his memory. And at the end of the episode, he sees Courtney finally holding the cosmic staff and says, our queen has returned. Again, this man of honor, nobility, and whatnot. Again, it wasn't a lot in this episode. There wasn't a lot of high-level action. Again, you had to come down from the heightened that we had in the episode before. And so I get it now. We got up high. We saw this big battle in the Dragon King's lair. We saw the return of Brainwave to himself and his battle with his son and him killing his son, and it climaxed and ending there. Then we come back and everything's like this. And our next two episodes are our penultimate and our season finale. So now we got to go back up to this incline. So it's a different thing. We literally didn't use the pen. and we haven't touched the Green Lantern. We haven't found the ring. So maybe these are season 2 things. Now that we know the show has a season 2, again, going to CW, I was talking to people that budget is not going to be the same, which totally sucks. Totally sucks. But it is what it is. Um, to find out that Henry wants to kill Stargirl, and Jordan was hesitant. Icicle was hesitant because he cares for the mom, which we all knew that was going to happen. We knew he was going to have feelings for the mom, but then it got to the point where he was like, "Yo, kill her, kill the stepdaddy, hell, kill little Mike. You can't have anybody laying around." To the point where he was just going to be just cruel with it. And I think we may have a climax where not only do we have Stargirl battling members of the ISA, excuse me. I think we may have members of the ISA battling each other, if that makes sense. I think you're going to have a battle with Icicle and Brainwave because Brainwave is more powerful than he believes. Again, saying he absorbed Henry Jr.'s abilities, and now instead of controlling just 9 states, he's going to control a whole bunch of the East Coast and whatnot. And when Jordan telling him what to do, and he's like, okay, but he still has his belief, I'm more powerful than you. I think we're going to come to that. Again, are we going to see Solomon Grundy officially within these last 2? Yes. Will we see more of the 7 Soldiers of Victory, even though it's 8 of them? I don't think we will, because that means we have to get a Green Arrow and a Red Arrow, or a Speedy, whichever one you want to call them. The level of heroes we're going to get is interesting. Again, not knowing how we're going to go forward with it. There wasn't much in this episode. Also, to find out, I want to talk about too, Courtney's real father is an asshole. He is a crook. And just to, while Courtney's trying to bond with her real father, she's hearing things, and now she's trying to open up. And to come to find out, all he wants is the locket so he can get the money to get a house. And he doesn't really care about seeing her. And Courtney realizes it. That's why when she says, take care of Sam, it wasn't even dad or it was like, take care of Sam. I'm glad they didn't drag that out, because that is something that could have been dragged out for an episode or 2, but now it's like, it's over and done. Pat laid his ass out in the street, which I was like, yo, go on here, Luke Wilson, hit this mug in his jaw. Again, all these little build-up things to now, again, at the end of the episode, her believing in herself again to get the staff to work. We have to get the Shining Knight his memory back. How do you do that? Because basically the Dragon King or Brainwave embraces his memory, or a combination of the 2. And so now you have to figure out how to get his memory back so he can remember where his steed is and who he truly is. And for him to be the Shining Knight, who was in this picture and looking amazing. I just wanted Altoids. I just wanted a mint. I've been holding on to it. If you look at the picture of the Shining Knight, he's massive. And the guy, Justin, is small. So I'm wondering if, he changed when he has the armor, he becomes massive and whatnot. Again, we're talking about King Arthur. We're talking about Excalibur, which means we're talking about Merlin. We're talking about magic. So many different things play a part in this. It's just going to be interesting to see where this goes. I don't have too much to say about this episode. If I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a 4.5, a 4. Because again, we brought it back down. This is more about, okay, now you see who the Shining Knight is, right? We know about him, and this is a story about him. This is a story about now Courtney has to believe in herself even more, because even though she was headstrong for the longest, it was because she just knew she was Starman's daughter, so she knew this was her legacy to fulfill. But now finding out it's not her legacy, he's not her father, she feels, well, what's the point? Now this belief has to happen, and all these different things. And even the JSA find that out, and then they have to have her believe in herself. The plan of Project America coming into fruition. I'm trying to guess, if I could, who's going to die in these next 2 episodes. Because I feel like we can't have the season finale without having a major death. And of course, I'm feeling like it may be Icicle, or maybe it's going to be Icicle or Brainwave. No matter what, it's going to be one of the 2 of them. But I also believe we might have the death of Courtney's mother. Now, I'm not saying I don't want to see Amy Smart anymore, but now with her, I'm skeptical about her her being safe going into season 2 with how headstrong she is now with who Courtney is and what Courtney has to do. You know, I get it. She wants to play a part and help out, but that always seems like a recipe for disaster, if that makes sense. But nonetheless, I want to know what you think in the comments below, all right? So go ahead and like, subscribe, click on the notification bell. Let me know, again, for those who haven't been rocking with it, I appreciate you giving me your comments and reasons why, but you've still been watching. And those who have grown on, I'm glad to hear from you as well. And I want to keep hearing from more of you all, all right? Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington. That's MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. Join the Patreon, patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. It's the Supervillain Squad. Check out my one-on-one with the Supervillain tiers, $25. It's a giant-ass meet and greet, but it's different than any other meet and greet and any other Patreon tier that anybody else is doing Patreon is giving you. Like, they're not just hanging with you. I'm hanging with you for an hour. And I don't care. We're talking about whatever you want to talk about, not what I want to talk about. Then you get access to the Discord. It's all that. The Mad Titan Podcast, everywhere you get your podcast from. The reviews for Doom Patrol here on the channel on Thursday with Winston A. Marshall. And speaking of him and I, every Tuesday live, Blurs in the Hood, youtube.com/BLERDS, the letter NTHEHOOD, and on twitch.tv. I think that's it. There's so much more. I'll be back. When I'm back for the next 2 episodes, the background will be back. I just had to throw up some pictures I had real quick to try to fill in space. Holla at you guys later. Till then, take care. I'm out. Bye.